What's up guys, FallenRedZeo here, and today we're doing another My Morphin Collections episode. This time we've got the new Power Ranger Lightning Collection from Hasbro. So I want to thank you all so much for clicking on the channel and checking out this video. But in this set today we have the White Ranger, Lord Zedd, and the Shadow Ranger. So in this set also includes the Red Dino Charge, but I don't care about the Red Dino Charge, so I'm not going to be getting that Ranger in this set, just the characters I care about, which of course are mostly Tommy and Zedd, but then I did think the Shadow Ranger looked pretty cool and stuff from SPD and all that, so I got those three figures that we're going to check out. Of course, the new Hasbro line taking over from Bandai and everything, so I'm excited to see how these figures are and look and everything. I think just looking at them, they look really cool and stuff, but we'll have to see once we get out of the box and stuff. I know there's a lot of paint issues, especially with the Tommy figure, but ours doesn't look too bad. I see a few little spots, but nothing too bad. But I'm excited to see what these figures are actually like and everything out of the box. So let's go ahead and get into it. And so we're starting out with the White Ranger here. I did want to say these box designs are really cool. So there you can see the front of the box here with the White Ranger helmet, and then of course Power Ranger Lightning Collection here from Hasbro now with Mighty Morphin White Ranger there on the back. Of course on the side we've got the White Ranger as well, and then a picture of the White Ranger in like an action pose style there with Saba and everything. Looks very cool. These boxes are so cool. Like I wish I didn't want these figures as so bad, like to see them out of the box and stuff, because I'd probably just keep them in it. But I think the boxes look so cool for all of these figures. But first up here we've got White Ranger. We've got Tommy himself, my favorite Ranger of all time, and so this is just super cool. So overall, as I mentioned earlier, there is some paint issues. If I can focus, you can see some. It's mostly with the gold, some gold flaking there on his chest shield that shouldn't be there and stuff, some gold there on his arm, and I think there's some gold somewhere else. There's like some black missing there off of the leg armor and stuff, so a little bit of splotches stuff that shouldn't be where they are and stuff, but that's unfortunate. And then overall, this is a white figure and stuff, and how I feel like with Marvel Legends and everything, every time they do a white version, I don't think it ever looks very good, because to me it looks dirty, and to me right now it looks dirty. It's like more of like a creamish white color and stuff. I just think he looks a little bit dirty and everything, but I still think overall this looks super cool. So let's look at some of the movements here. So obviously, first off, I guess we have his helmet there, the White Ranger helmet with the white tiger mask on it there. He's got the chest shield here again with the white tiger power coin, and then of course the gold and black chest shield, which is just a thin plastic piece so it can bend and move and everything. It doesn't come off. It looks like, I'm sure you could maybe pop the head off and then work the shield off, but I don't know why you'd want to do that, because he looks so much cooler with the shield on. But it's got that. Then of course the gold power or armor, I guess, straps and stuff, so he's got armor and stuff all over him. So he's got them there on his arm. He's got the gold gauntlets with the black as well, the belt there with the design that we saw. Of course, if you see the Super Sentai show, all the the White Rangers from, I don't know how to pronounce the show name or whatever, but all the Rangers wear the belts with these sort of design stuff, so that's where it's from. That's why it doesn't look like any of the other Rangers, because they pulled him out of a different season and stuff and threw him in there. And then of course the armor pieces here at the top of the boots as well, of course, with the white boots and everything, and then everything else is just all white, so he's just an all white Ranger and stuff there. But with the helmet movement or head movement stuff up here, we do have the helmet, of course, can twist all the way around and can look up and down and all sorts of movements there. Of course the chest piece there can like move around and shift and everything, but it does have what looks to be like an ab crunch. It looks like it's got multiple stuff. So it's got an ab crunch there, so there, or I guess it's a waist crunch at this point. As you can see, the joint down here, the crunch there, so there's, you know, some movement there. But then it also has what would be like the female ab crunch. So from the female, like Marvel Legends and stuff, it's got that sort of ab crunch. You can see it twist all the way around, which looks kind of funny. But it's got twisting and ab crunch movement there by itself as well. So it's got a bunch of different movements, so you can obviously get them to bend quite a bit and everything. But then we do have the shoulders here, so it does have the butterfly joints, which is always cool. I love when figures have butterfly joints. You get much better range movement and everything. Then it has the normal shoulder joint there, which of course the butterfly is looser, so it always moves that instead. But the shoulder can go up that high, and then of course we saw down, and then rotate around. Kind of some issues because of the shoulder pad here. It's got the bicep twist, which has a different little design going into it, as you can see there and stuff, but still allows for movement. You can rotate around, you just have to kind of move the arm around to get it to rotate all the way around though. Double elbow joint, as you can see there, and then of course the fist can flex and twist and all sorts of fun stuff there. One thing I do like about this figure is you can see, especially up in here, since this is a costume and outfit design, they added this detail to make it look like, you know, it's not a skin tight suit on. It does have some looseness and movement to it, and you can really see it there, and then here around the waist and everything there, you can see it. I like that addition of detail into it and stuff. I think it makes this look a lot better and everything. Then we've got, of course, the other additional waist crunch, I guess you could say there. No twist though at the waist or anything. The belt is solid onto it there. Like, it's even got the holster here for Saba that we'll see in a second. The leg movement, so there again a 90-degree leg movement out, not much farther back because of the button stuff, but it does have some movements out to the side and everything. A pretty decent range of movement for the figure here. A thigh twist there, double knee joint as you can see, and then we also have the foot joint here at the bottom that can obviously flex back and forth and twist side to side, so you can get pretty good range of movement on these figures and stuff, which are pretty cool. As you can see, his hands though, this one's a gripping hand, which we'll obviously see in here in a second, and then he also has the, I guess, weird hand. I don't know what you do this for. I know he does poses sometimes like this and stuff with his hand out like that, and then he does also, if we had two hands, the hands where he's posing quite a bit, where's his hands up like that or whatever, but obviously we only have one hand that does that, so we can't really do that pose or anything for that, so it's kind of weird there. But a bunch of accessories going on here. So first off, we do have an unmasked Tommy head here. So we've got the Tommy, very similar to like the SH Figure Arts figure and stuff, but looks very close to J. Stave Frank in the face and stuff. It looks very much like him. Then of course he has the long Tommy hair pulled back into a ponytail back there. So obviously if you want to have unmasked, but again, when it comes to Power Rangers and their suits, I hate unmasked versions. I think they look horrible. I just want the actual figure, like a citizen version with an unmasked, but not the actual Ranger suits themselves. We get two extra fists here, two fists itself in general, so if you obviously want to have him punching and everything, he's got two fists that you can switch out for the hands. We get Saba. Of course, we always have to have Saba with the White Ranger as well. So very nice looking Saba, very detailed and everything. A lot more detailed than I'm pretty sure that I went into and everything, but I think it looks super cool. So we got the blade there, of course, the white tiger coin, and then the white tiger head itself of Saba, the talking tiger head, which is cool and stuff. And you can put it into his holster. It's kind of hard because of his arm getting in the way, but you can slide it in there. Has a little additional cutout to help fit it in there, but you can put it in there, or you can obviously stick it into his hand like that, so you can hold it to where he does, you know, the shooting lasers and everything. But of course I should turn it the other way so we could have the actual sword to fight with, so his hands upside down currently. But you can obviously also do it like that, so you can actually use Saba to fight. But I always put it like this, where Saba talks and all that sort of fun stuff as well. And then he comes with one last thing that I think is a little bit weird, and I have absolutely no clue what it is, what it's for, or anything like that. But it comes with this little blast effect here that I, again, don't know what it's for. The only thing I could somewhat think is I know Saba does shoot lasers out of its eyes. They're like red though, but I don't know what this blue. He doesn't come with hands that can hold any of this. I mean, you could obviously take these two hands and kind of just make him hold it, but there's no pictures with this on it. I've never seen him use any sort of powers like this in the show or anything. I may have just missed it, but I have absolutely no clue what this little blue ball of, I guess, explosion or whatever is for. So I have absolutely no clue, but it is in the set, so if you have some other use for that, that would be cool as well, I guess. And so that's pretty much it for this Tommy figure. I think really cool. Again, I wish the paint was just a little bit better. I was surprised at this because I've seen these at stores and I've looked at them because I ordered these from Hasbro Pulse, so I was like, I know I'll be getting them, but I was just checking them out in the stores until I actually got them, and there was some bad paint jobs. Like there was one where Tommy here had a big black mark just right on his cheek and stuff, like a big giant paint. I'm like, see, good thing I actually did get a pretty decent one. It does have some issues, but it's better than what I've seen in store, so I'm very happy about that. So this is really cool, and this Tommy is just awesome. Next up is Lord Zedd, one of my favorite villains of all times, and I'm sure a lot of viewers out there as well. This figure looks pretty dang cool, and I'm so glad to finally get a cool looking Zedd. I've had some Zedd figures, but not too many, but this thing looks super cool. He looks very jacked though. Of course he is a bunch of muscles. That's really all you get to see. He has no skeleton really, just his metal skeleton on the outside, but he looks a lot bigger than I think he should be and stuff, but still looks very cool. So let's look at him. So of course there's his head there, so we got his Zedd head, so his red visor, which of course he sometimes shoots like a laser beam out. I think it's supposed to be like a telescope, but it looks like a laser beam to me. Of course his mouth there with the metal armor and stuff on it, and you can see his brains up at the top there. I always thought that was a cool part of Zedd, how he has like no skin. He's just like a skinless body covered with this armor suit. Then of course the little prong up to the top with the Z on, of course, for Zedd and all that sort of fun stuff there. Very cool helmet. Again, an original character for Power Rangers. This was a completely made up character. This wasn't in Super Sentai or anything. So they did a very good job, especially he's such like a classic villain and one of people's favorites and stuff, so it's a very good job on them coming up with this design. Of course, then they also did that with Ivan Ooze, and I think Ivan Ooze is super cool as well. Definitely my second favorite villain of all time. But then, of course, he is all the muscles here, so you can see all the different, like, little, I would say skin designs, but obviously he doesn't have skin, so he's just all muscles and everything that you can see, and it's just very creepy looking and everything, all red here. Like I said, it's just all muscle and tendons and all sorts of fun stuff. Then he has his little exoskeleton suit on, so here we have like a rib cage design and stuff. Would be like the clavicle all the way to the back here with a spine going down the center there, as you can see. Then he's got some additional arm skeleton pieces here, so he's got the metal there on his bicep, on his forearm, holding on to it, going onto his hands there. Then he has right here at his waist and torso, of course, got to cover up his bits there as they do for kids and stuff. And then he's got some leg armor as well, so here a big piece on the thigh, a joint here to help hold his, I guess, knee and stuff together. These things are kind of weird. We'll look at all the different little tubes and everything, and then like this piece, as you can see, popped out there, but it just pushes right back in, so not too bad. Then a piece there on his shin as well, with a piece here at his ankle holding it very similar to, and then his foot or shoes or whatever there, again holding his feet together. So very much man held together by machine, although it's armor though. And then he has these tubes, which I believe are his blood pumping tube stuff, obviously for his veins and everything. That's what these tubes are for. They're just a nice light blue tube. I feel kind of worried about them. I mean, they're kind of loose and stuff, so you can obviously get movements and everything going on. Like this one, obviously when I move back, it kind of tightens up, so you may have some limitation of movements and stuff when it comes to these tubes and everything, but I still think overall looks pretty cool. I mean, usually they're much tighter to the skin and stuff on them, but this time, I guess because of movements, they made them looser and everything, which makes sense and all that, so you can see it around in there. But let's look at movements now. So obviously the head can twist around. He's got the shoulder stuff. Does have the butterfly joint as well, which again I think is very cool that they had that. So shoulder movements are very same as Tommy's and stuff, but again very some limitations probably because of the tubing, and I'm afraid it's just gonna pull him out or rip the tube, so I'm gonna try not to move it as much outside of these videos and everything. Again, same sort of design as Tommy did too, so it's got again the twist and crunch here at the abs, or whatever you want to call it at this point here, very similar to again like the females of Marvel Legends stuff, but it does twist all the way around. Then it has the additional little crunch there at the waist there, which I think is a cool addition and stuff, and I'll be interested to see if they add those to Marvel Legends and stuff at some point. It'd be cool to see that. Of course, the leg movements and stuff. We have the knee, which again, some issues and kind of worriedness here with some of the tubes, especially when you bend the knee like this. These tubes down here get very tight, so I'm worried about those. And of course, if you do something like the thigh movements, you may have some issues with this tube here, but not too much. And then again, the foot, so if you, again, like I'm trying to bend the foot down and stuff, and it's pulling really tight on the foot, even though it should be attached up here, and you can see some of the design, just a piece slid in, it probably pops right out, and you can push it back in and stuff. But I'm worried just some of these tubes are going to end up snapping or something, so I'm going to be very limited with the movement. But of course, because of the foot design down here, his foot does not have much range of movement at all. Like, you can move forward a little bit. This foot may be stiff or something. I've got it on the other one, which because of this being a real thin, flimsy plastic, it moves easily. But when you try to go back at all, it's, you know, completely solid right here, so his foot cannot go back any farther, unfortunately. So it's kind of hard to get him to stand up a little bit. I had to kind of mess around with it a bit to get him to stand up there and all that. Now we've got, of course, accessories here. So he comes with additional hands. So he's got a fist hand here for the left and a grip hand here for the right, with his very creepy looking claw fingers and everything there. Again, continue on, which I still think they'll look cool, so you can have more matching hands with the design there. We've got a growth grenade, I think is what these are called. So these are little bombs he usually throws down to make the monsters grow super big and everything. So he's got this that obviously you can like take and stick into his hand and everything, pretty much like that. I liked how it just easily popped right in. Then we also have his Z staff here. So of course Zedd's famous staff here with the Z on it and stuff, where you know, shoots a lot of powers and stuff out of it. It's also got this spike here at the bottom, so you also stab people. Of course they don't do that in the show. And then it also comes with this red like electricity that you can also put on. It's supposed to be, you know, like his powers and stuff. I don't know how to get it on to make it look fairly decent. The box shows obviously pictures and stuff, but I can't ever get it to look exactly like the box. It's always like too loose or too high up or too low or stuff. I don't know. I think it looks kind of cool if I could get position right, but overall I think it's just better without that and just having it, the Z itself in Zedd's hands. But I think this figure is super cool as well. I'm super glad that they made this one, and this Zedd looks awesome. And our last figure that I'm doing of this Lightning collection is the SPD Shadow Ranger, which is pretty cool looking. That's why I got it. I thought this figure looks cool. And again, there's also the red Dino charge, but I don't care about that Red Ranger and stuff, so that's why I'm not getting this figure and doing it in this set. But like I said, overall thought this looked cool. Now, when I was a kid, younger, I would say kid, but I don't know exactly how old I was at the time, I watched SPD, just some parts of it, because I usually check out at least the first couple episodes of every single season of Power Rangers, see if I'll like the show or anything, and I did not enjoy it or anything, so I didn't continue watching it, but at least, like, I saw this character, know who it is and everything, but I don't know a whole lot of details about SPD and all this stuff, but this figure looks pretty cool. So this is the Shadow Ranger, and I looked him up again to see stuff. His name is Anubis Doggy Kruger, so he goes by Doggy Kruger, that's why I always heard him by, but his real name is Anubis, of course, goes with the Egyptian dog head people, god of Anubis and stuff. But he is the commander of Space Patrol Delta, which is SPD, the Earth Division, and so that's what he is, and he becomes like the 6th Ranger of the set. I don't understand the whole 100 on his, or at least that looks like 100, could just be a 00 with design, which I guess would also fit since he's kind of like the first and everything if it was 00, but it looks kind of like a 1 there, so that's what throws me off. But this figure just looks so cool, and I love the design of it and everything. So first off, we got the helmet up here, of course, since he is a dog, which we'll definitely see, and I'm sure you know already. He has the SPD badge here, which looks like the printing is a little bit off, so we've obviously mentioned some printing issues before. There's one there where the black printing got kind of set off a little bit of the badge there, but it's got the little dog head on it, and then of course he is a dog, so he's got the dog ears and everything coming off of his face, but the visor and everything to me looks so cool with how wide-ranging version of like the visor and stuff here. The black looks really cool. I like that on the helmet a lot, and of course he's all this metallic blue, which I think looks really cool as well. You can see it there in the helmet though, and then it's got some red and black around with him as well. Then he does have a chest armor here as well, again with the 00 or 100, not exactly sure, but it's a thinner plastic, so it does move around and everything, but it looks like unless you pop the head off, you couldn't really take it off. There's no snaps or anything, but there's a look at it from the back. Then we've got the arms here with the SPD logo there on the side. He's got the badge there also on his shoulder there. It's got a belt on with SPD, as you can see there. Of course, a holder for his sword that we'll see. Then I like the blue and red stripe all the way down his leg and everything. Looks pretty cool there, and additional armor there. Of course, all the same movements. I thought there'd be some issue because of the these neck pieces up here, but obviously it's a thin plastic and stuff and moves, so it gets out of the way. Our movements, but of course the shoulder designs here with the badges and stuff are in the way, so you can't move it too much there, but it's got the bicep, double elbow, all the same joints. It even has the same either ab crunch joint part there, plus the additional crunch there at the waist as well. It's pretty cool. I like that design a lot. I'm really liking that. Again, I hope they start adding that into Marvel Legends. Then of course the belt there, as we mentioned, the leg movements all the same. Yeah, nothing really too noticeable there. Does have a double knee, but it's kind of covered up by this piece of armor there. His armor padding there on his leg and shit, like a shin guard there. And then of course the foot, which again, because of the armor, does cause some issues in getting in the way, but he's not too hard to get to stand up or anything. But again, I think this figure just overall looks super cool. I love the design and everything. This is a very cool looking Power Ranger suit of armor and stuff here. It looks very awesome. Then of course we have accessories for this set. So we've got, of course, which I will be switching out, the dog head. So this is what he truly looks like when he's not in his Ranger costume here. So he's got this actual dog head and everything that I will be switching out here. Like that, and it even comes with this additional little neck piece. I think I put it on right. I don't really know what direction it should be going in, but this additional little neck piece you can put on here so it looks, you know, more like his dog neck and stuff. And it's like a blue scaly skin though, so not very much like a dog, but it's very much looks like one. But it's even got like its ears look like fins and stuff, like seahorse fins or something. So, but very cool looking overall. Even that design looks really cool with the dog head. That may, I don't know, like I really like both versions. I don't know which one I want to pose, like keep him with. It's very hard for me to decide, but I do like that neck piece there though, so it blends in better with his head. Again, very cool stuff going on with this set. I don't know if this is something done at the requirement of Power Rangers or if it's just Hasbro, but it's like they need to start doing stuff like this though on Marvel Legends though, because they don't do stuff like that, so usually just have weird neck design stuff. He comes with additional hands, so we do have a fist hand here for the left and another point, looks like a gun hand here on the for the right and everything there, but we got two additional hands for that. that. We have the Patrol Morpher, so the little SPD Morpher here, and you can see the SPD, so you obviously just stick that into his hands and stuff for that. And then the last thing is the Shadow Sword, or Shadow Saber, whatever you want to call it here. So again, a very cool looking sword. It has this, again, additional detail design that goes on here that you can just slide off and everything. I think it looks pretty cool with it on there, though. I like that blue wrapped around it. But then we have the actual saber here, and again, it's got the dog head that looks very awesome there, as you know, like the hilt of the saber, and then the sword there as well that we can obviously just stick into his hand there. And then it can also, I forgot, go into his holster here, so we can just pop it into there like that. Again, looks very cool. You may have to, I don't know which direction it needs to go in, but for the dog head up, it looks like that. So that, again, looks super cool. And again, a very cool looking figure overall. And that's it for this set of the new Lightning Collection Power Ranger figures by Hasbro. And I've been so happy with this. The figures look awesome. Again, some paint job issues and stuff, but nothing major, at least on the figures I got. But overall, the figures look awesome. I like their movements and everything. I think did a really good job. And I'm not having issues standing them up and moving them as I did with the Saban ones, or I guess Bandai is what it's called. But again, very cool looking figures overall, and I'm just so glad I got these. Now, I do have the Gold Dart coming up, but it doesn't come out till like October or something. I did get it pre-ordered at GameStop, so it'll be cool to see that when it comes out eventually. And I can't wait to see what sets they're doing next, like what expansion they're going to be doing onto this. But again, very cool for these Power Ranger Lightning collections. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments down below, or Doggy Kruger will yell at you. He's like McGruff the crime dog. Only you can prevent forest fires. No, wait, that's Smokey the Bear. But anyway, so go ahead and subscribe for me as well if you enjoyed the video and want to see more Power Ranger videos on the channel that I do on here. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.